This is the entrance to the bonsai garden in Shanghai. This white pine is at least 6 to 8 feet tall. This is a pine, and right next to it they have detailed names of the species and so forth. And behind the pine is a juniper. That's a juniper. And here is a large Buddhist monk pine. And next to it is a rather beautiful and big Chinese elm. The trunk is massive on this. And it is surrounded by beautiful big trees. On this dividing wall are placed for display many bonsais. This appears to be a sort of Chinese juniper, followed by a pine. Not sure whether it's white pine or black pine, but there it is. And right at the top is another pine with the sky for background. Next to the pine is a Chinese elm, a Chinese juniper, and next to it a very interesting looking, really gnarled trunk pine with more pine and a cascading style Chinese elm. Behind me is a wisteria which covers the pergola all the way down. In the foreground is a beautiful white pine, and behind it is a rather large pine in a massive big pot. Behind the podocarpus is a juniper, and in the foreground is a largish gnarled trunk. Not sure what species this is, as there is no plaque or indication, followed by a largish pine again, and very gnarled trunk as can be seen. This is another big white pine, followed by more white pines over here. Quite gnarled trunk, and behind it is, looks like a Scots pine. Could be something different, but definitely a pine with rather largish needles. And in the foreground here is a podocarpus, or a Buddhist monk pine, with again quite a large trunk, as can be seen. A rather large juniper, Juniperus formosana is the name on the plaque next to it. This is another Buddhist monk pine in the foreground, and next to is a Pinus parviflora aurea, which is a beautiful tree, quite large, and in plain language is a Japanese white pine. Very pronounced trunk and branches, If I get a close up, there we are. Close up of the branches and the trunk from the underside. Beautiful tree, incredibly well maintained. And next to the Japanese white pine is the Chinese juniper, followed by more white pine on the foreground, and the back is a pine of some sort, again with largish needles. And in the foreground, this is definitely a Chinese elm with big pine in the background. Again, beautiful trunk and branch structure. Very old, as you can see from the trunk and the branch structure, and also the gnarled trunk and branches. Next to it is again a beautiful white pine, and I love the trunk and the branches on this. Chinese juniper, followed by Buddhist monk pine or podocarpus with big pine in the background. And one of my favorites again is the Japanese white pine in the foreground, followed by pine in the background and more Japanese white pine. Quite large trunk, incredibly old, and very well formed branches. And a view from the side. These are white pines, quite large. Here's another one, just to give you an idea of the scale. That's the doorway, and these are the two pines that I've just taken shots, close-ups of. And going through the door are further pines here. This tree is over 100 years old, and I'll take a shot of the whole tree. Is quite large. It's a large tree, and the wall and the roof over it gives you this some indication of the size of it.